Hello, and thank you for tuning into the Stuff I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Peak, and my voice is a bit sore today, thanks to the fine folks at the concert that I went to last night. Derrick Dove and the Peacekeepers opened up for Hairball. Hairball was fantastic. Derrick Dove was fantastic. I got some video that I'm going to be posting online. Um, if you don't know, look him up, derrickdove.com for his band, Derrick Dove and the Peacekeepers. They're a Southern blues rock band, really fantastic. Imagine Allman Brothers still alive and kicking with the guys from Leonard Skinner and Bob Seger and ZZ Top all rolled into one guy in one band. That's what you're going to get when you do the deep dive on these guys. They sound great. The performance was awesome. We went to go see them at the Columbia County Fine Arts Coliseum. I think that's what they call it in Evans, Georgia. It was actually a really fantastic venue to see a concert. The acoustics were really great. The place was set up really nice. The parking was easy to get in and out of. I actually liked everything about it. The only thing that may have made it better is if there was some places to eat or drink like right nearby that you could walk over to. But I mean, that's asking a lot. I get it. But for a venue of that size, I thought it was very accommodating for what we wanted to do. And we had a great time. It was a good time to be had by all. So special thanks out to my brother-in-law for having us there and for hosting quite an event. We had just a fantastic time. Um, we had a little bit of a hiccup with our VRBO. Has anybody ever had a hiccup with their VRBO? An issue where you're supposed to check in at a time, and for whatever reason, your app won't let you look at messages, or you don't get your message when you're supposed to, and suddenly you find yourself waiting outside of the place trying to communicate with somebody, and you just can't quite get through. It's kind of annoying. We ended up in that situation for whatever reason. The app just would not let us send or receive messages from the host or to the host. And so we sat outside for quite a while. That was a little disturbing, but the place we stayed was nice and it was close to the venue and it all worked out good. So I'm happy with all of that. It's a nice, clean place to lay our head at night. Let's talk about some stuff I heard. Okay, this is the Stuff I Heard podcast. So we'll jump right into it. I did not listen to many podcasts this week, but I did listen to The Confused Breakfast Boys, obviously, talking about a movie that was near and dear to my heart growing up, True Romance. Now, this for me was more of a coming of age kind of movie because it came out. God, when did it come out? 93. Okay, so I graduated high school in 92. So this was right in my wheelhouse of coolness. The rundown on this is a comic book nerd and Elvis fanatic Clarence, played by Christian Slater, and a prostitute named Alabama, which was played by Patricia Arquette, fall in love. Clarence breaks the news to her pimp and ends up killing him. He grabs a suitcase full of cocaine on his way out and is thinking that it's Alabama's clothing. And the two hit the road for California, hoping they can sell the cocaine, but the mob is soon after them. This is a huge cast. They had a budget of 13 million. I don't know how they just happened to get everybody on board for some reason. I guess because the movie was screenplayed written by Quentin Tarantino. He didn't direct it. Tony Scott did, but this movie was full of actors. Besides the two number one people you see on the screen, you've also got Gary Oldman, Dennis Hopper, Brad Pitt, Christopher Walken, Val Kilmer, James Gandolfini, Samuel L. Jackson, Michael Rappaport, Tom Sizemore, Bronson Pinchot, Chris Penn. You can go down the list here. Jack Black. Um, it's just, it's amazing the people that were in this movie. And I don't know if they all did it for pennies or what, but to get it in that budget is just incredible. Um, but yeah, the movie was kind of crazy to watch as a kid. There was an element that maybe Clarence was a loser to begin with, and his friends had hired this prostitute lady to come hit on him in a movie theater, and for whatever reason, they fall in love. And I thought this years ago, but the confused breakfast boys pointed this out that maybe Clarence is crazy. Maybe, maybe he, because there's moments where he's idolizing and thinking about having conversations with Elvis, and maybe all of this is in Clarence's head. Maybe Clarence is just a loser comic book nerd guy who suddenly has this crazy, fantastical idea of what his life is, and he imagines that he's having conversations with Elvis, and he imagines that Patricia Arquette is worth it, and somehow has this crazy adventure of going and killing this drug dealer pimp guy named Gary Oldman plays the guy. Um, and like maybe this is all in his head. Maybe this is just some crazy thing that's popped into his head. I don't know, but for whatever reason, I thought it was really cool. And I remember thinking at the time that Patricia Arquette was immensely hot in that movie. Um, so yeah, big fan as a kid. But anyway, moving forward, let's talk about some stuff I've seen on TV that was pretty dang good. Okay, so Netflix had this movie that came out. We Have a Ghost. Okay, now this was pretty fun to watch. Right away, David Harbour was spoiler the ghost, and Anthony Mackie plays like the dad. But I noticed like the cast that are playing in the preview, and right away you see Jennifer Coolidge and Tig Notaro, and I'm like, I'm fans of all these people. Let's go ahead and watch this, and it was good. It reminded me a lot of Beetlejuice. It was pretty family fun friendly. But basically, the rundown of this is the discovery that their house is haunted by a ghost named Earl or Ernest. Excuse me, Ernest. I don't know who Earl is. The discovery that their house is haunted by a ghost named Ernest makes Kevin's family a social media sensation. But when Kevin and Ernest get to the bottom of the mystery of Ernest's past, they become targets of the CIA. Dun dun dun. Um, wow, their budget was 75.3 million. Jeez, that's expensive. Is it expensive? I don't know. That seems like a lot of money. Wow, I can't believe that's on Google. I enjoyed it though. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I thought that the story was interesting. I thought it was pretty entertaining. They even poke fun at the fact that they're kind of like Beetlejuice. At one point, I think the dad sees the ghost and yells, "I know how this ends. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice," and it doesn't do anything, but it's kind of cute. Anyway, I'm a fan of Alison Brie. For those of you who don't know, she is a very famous actress. She was on a Netflix show a while back about the gorgeous ladies of wrestling, Glow. She was the main character. I thought her character was very interesting in that she was just an amazing actress because she had to not only become a physical actor and do this role of a wrestler, but also do it in a way that showed how the wrestling community had to grow and how her character, the woman she's portraying in Glow, basically realized that if she doesn't have a story arc, there's no point in her being there, and that the whole idea of them having a career in anything in entertainment isn't anything unless she chooses to be the bad guy. So she chooses to be the heel and to just portray this crazy Russian wrestler chick. And I thought she was phenomenal. And I've seen a few things that she's been in since, and I really enjoyed it. Now, this was advertised all over my social media going, "Hey, you're a fan of Alison Brie. You'll probably like this." So I checked on it. It's a movie called Somebody I Used to Know. And here's the premise of the show. On a trip to her hometown, workaholic TV producer Allie reminisces with her ex, Sean, and starts to question everything about her life. Things only become more confusing when she learns Sean is getting married to Cassidy, who reminds her of the person she used to be. And it's interesting because it's it's interesting to me because it is a look at that moment in time in your life where you're sort of a grown up, but not really a grown up. You're thinking selfishly, you're thinking only about yourself. You're thinking, what am I going to get out of this? How do I take my leap? You're trying to figure out who you are. And she has to take a moment of faith of realizing that her career is not giving her what she wanted like she thought it would. At one time she was engaged to this guy in the movie, and she left him to pursue her career in LA, and she was like, I don't want to, I don't want what you want. I want other things. And so she leaves him behind and she chases her career. And when she comes back to town to visit her mom, and she's sort of having an identity crisis at work, things aren't going well. Um, she has an idea of, hey, why don't we pick things back up, and doesn't realize that he's already engaged to someone. And the person he's engaged to reminds her a lot of herself when she was younger because of her impulsiveness and because of her joy of life and her willingness to take risks and be adventurous and be fun. And if she's honest with herself, she lost a bit of that. She quit being fun. And I think this is the part that hits me is there's moments in my life where I don't feel like I'm fun. I feel like I take life too seriously. I feel like I have taken life too seriously. There's a lot of my life where I don't allow myself to play. Um, it's almost like I have to be outside of my element in order to enjoy life enough to play. The idea of play and the idea of um, no worries just seems so alien to me. Um, I think that's one of my joys of when I get to have a few beers with my friends is for a moment it takes my mind off the fact of that I have bills and I'm responsible for people, and that I can just enjoy the day and just enjoy a laugh and then just enjoy the weird joke that makes us all giggle. That's why I like going to comedy shows. That's why I enjoy going to Disney. That's why I enjoy going on trips with friends. It allows me to get outside of myself enough to not take myself so seriously and to just enjoy it and just breathe. And that's what this movie is. This movie is a reminder of all of that. And you get to see her evolve in this. This apparently was a project that her and her husband had worked on, and you can tell they had a good time with it. Dave Franco, I guess, is her fellow that they wrote the screenplay together. Um, is Dave Franco James Franco's brother? Is that who that is? It is. That's James Franco's brother. I didn't know they were together. Interesting. Thank you, Google. Thank you for finding that out for me. Very interesting. All right. So anyway, somebody I used to know. It's pretty good. Um, so I went to see this band, Hairball, with my wife and some friends, and had a great time. Again, Hairball just puts on one heck of a performance. Check them out online, hairballonline.com. All is one word, hairballonline.com. And you can see photos and videos and all kinds of stuff about what their shows are. They're a ton of fun. You can probably find videos of them on YouTube of them performing. They dress up as Kiss and Axl Rose of Guns N' Roses, and you name it. Bon Jovi, AC/DC, Queen, all kinds of really great performances, and all the musicians are really fantastic. Um, but it's an incredible show. We had a blast. I lost my voice several times. I'd lose it, find it back, and then lose it again. Really great show. Derrick Dove and the Peacekeepers, again, put on one heck of a show. Go to derrickdove.com in order to check out his stuff. Really fantastic. He's been on the podcast before, as a matter of fact. And I want to talk about another show that I really like because this is stuff I heard. You can tell people, hey, man, I heard this is pretty good. Alice in Borderland. Now, I know you're thinking to yourself, Alice in Wonderland. No, 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 not that. Alice in Borderland. Borderland. Okay. This is on Netflix. This is a Japanese based show. There are English dubbed voices over the people talking. I explained to people that this is a lot like, it reminds me a lot of Squid Games, but it's a bit different. So here's the premise of the show. Obsessed gamer Arisu suddenly finds himself in a strange, emptied out version of Tokyo in which he and his friends must compete in a dangerous game in order to survive. Now, this is really, really interesting. I'm not going to give a ton away here. There's 3 seasons that are up there right now, but I'm going to tell you kind of the premise of the first episode. There's three friends and they're kind of losers, okay? But they're young enough that they should be figuring life out, but they're also young enough that they're not figuring life out. And for whatever reason, they have hung out during the day and they get a little in trouble with the cops for being in the road. And the cops, they think the cops are kind of chasing them. So they run into the bathroom to hide. And all of a sudden, all the people are gone. Like all of the people in Tokyo are gone. They come out of the bathroom because it's eerily quiet. And when they look around, there's no people. They run around the city trying to find someone, trying to figure out what's going on. They have no idea. And then it turns dark and they see a light and they go towards the light. And when they go towards the light, it's in a building. And they go, okay, is this where the people are? So they walk in and they're like, hello, hello, is anybody here? Hello. They're just trying to find somebody because none of this makes any sense. And they're just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And no electronics work except for these lights, like I say. So they can't use their phones for anything. They can't drive anything. Nothing works. But they go in this building and there on a table is all of these cell phones. And they're like, what the heck are these? And there's a sign that says, take one. And they're like, okay. So they walk inside and you see them as they walk into this building. They kind of walk through this laser type grid. They don't see it, but you see it as the viewer. And they walk through this grid and it turns from red to green. And then they pick up the phone and it says, now scanning for facial recognition. And you're like, what? What the heck is this? And all of a sudden, like they're in some type of life or death type Squid Game event. And they can't leave because if they leave, this laser thing kills them. And suddenly they're trying to figure out how to navigate the next step of just surviving and trying to figure out what's going on and trying to solve who the game master is and what's going, there's a bunch of questions and a bunch of life or death situations that are suddenly just super, super exciting. I, it's really hard to describe to people in a way that's going to make them want to watch it any more than this. But they have a playing card system based upon the challenges that they're facing. So just like your regular deck of cards, the lower the number is, the easier the situation, and the different suits mean different things. So, like, what was the information? Maybe I can Google it. Let's see. Card meaning. Here we go. Card meaning. Um, bum, 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 bum. Yeah. What does the card symbols mean? Okay. I'm trying to look it up. Sorry. There's four different suits. Of course, you got hearts, clubs, diamonds, and spades. I'm trying to find the link. I should have found that earlier. There's nothing. This is crazy. What is the club card symbol? I know right now people are going, dude, it's this thing. Yeah, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Okay, so anyway, all I know is the clubs is the first game. Clubs has to do with solving puzzles. Okay. The spades is supposed to be something to do with um, working together as a team. And then the hearts one is something where basically you're going to have your heart broken. I don't know what the diamonds one is. I can't find it. I'll have to find it out because I'm going to watch more of these. But yeah, so that's the thing I'm obsessed with right now is Alice in Borderland. I hope everybody's okay with that. But you got to watch it. It's super crazy. It's super fun, and I'm into it. But yeah, so this is gonna be a quick one again. Sorry, I'm not usually. I'm a little more prepared normally, but I've just been in a hurry. So hope everybody's doing well. On the podcast anchor situation, There now is a interactive part with a poll question, and you guys can answer poll questions, or you can weigh in on your decisions of issues that are going on, or you can post ideas for polls and weigh in on that. So go check that out. It's a lot of fun, and I'm always trying to figure out new ways to make this entertaining. And I hope you guys are entertained. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Yeah. So, that's it. I'm gonna wrap this up. I have plans to see Dr. Ben Carson, who ran for president a few years ago, a while back. He's going to come to Florence to speak, and I have plans to go see him with my mother. So there's that. And I'm looking forward to it. So y'all take care. Thanks for listening. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe to the podcast, share this with your friends. If you want to be on it, let me know. We'll talk about anything. I do talk about anything. And as always, cue the cow.
So I want you guys to give me more likes. Give me more likes!